any startup that reaches the valuation of $1 billion. Term was first actually coined by Aileen Lee. Recent reports suggest that 87% of unicorns' products are software. 2021 saw a mind-boggling 42 startups, which turned into unicorns. Just more than $10 billion are currently invested in the startup ecosystem of India, alone in the last quarter of 2021. Mensa Brands is one such startup that has taken the Indian startup ecosystem by surprise. In just 6 months, this company has raised $300 million to become the fastest growing unicorn. Either to get employed in one of these unicorns or to be forced behind starting one yourself. In 2021, India gave to the world staggering 42 unicorns. Now, in the venture capital industry, the term unicorn actually refers to any startup that reaches the valuation of $1 billion. The term was first actually coined by Aileen Lee. She's the founder of Cowboy Ventures, and when she referred to the 39 startups that had a valuation of over $1 billion as unicorns. The term was initially used to lay emphasis on the rarity of such startups. The definition of a unicorn startup has remained unchanged since then. Features of a unicorn startup are disruptive innovation. The first. Well, if there is innovation, there's definitely a first. High on technology. A recent report suggests that 87% of unicorns' products are software, 7% are hardware, and the rest, 6%, are the other products and services. Consumer-focused, privately owned. These are a few things that a startup does. In India, it is becoming the home for unicorns. Well, how is this happening? Like I said earlier, 2021 saw a mind-boggling 42 startups, which turned into unicorns. In 2022, within just 40 days, India has registered 8 new unicorns, which is creating a new unicorn every 5 days. The Commerce Minister in the government of India, Piyush Goyal, said that companies are eyeing to add 75 more unicorns by the end of the year 2022. As the report suggests, more than $10 billion are currently invested in the startup ecosystem of India, alone in the last quarter of 2021. The survey showed that having doubled the number of unicorns in 2021, India has replaced UK in terms of the countries having the highest number of unicorns, which is following the United States and China, which are taking up the top 2 spots. Let's talk of a few startups. Mensa Brands is one such startup that has taken the Indian startup ecosystem by surprise. In just 6 months, this company has raised $300 million to become the fastest growing unicorn. In the Indian business history, in these 6 months, Mensa has already acquired 12 consumer brands like Villain and Karigari. And in the month of October itself, these brands seems to have hit a growth of 250% and 140% respectively. If this is not crazy enough for you, well, let's look at, unlike most other startups, which are currently a cash drain, incurring major losses, Mensa claims to have turned profitable within these 6 months itself. On 14th of July 2021, Zomato officially went public. With 9,000 crores, what was about to be raised, this has been by far one of the biggest and perhaps the most awaited IPO of 2021. In November 2021, Securities and Exchange Board of India, that's SEBI, made an announcement that changed the debt market forever. As it turns out that earlier, the retail investors like us, you and me, could only purchase bonds of those companies who are raising a minimum of 100 crores publicly and could invest as low as 1,000 rupees in private placement. But now, this new regulation from SEBI, the minimum issue size requirements for public debt issue was reduced from 100 crores to just 10 crores. And the minimum investment in a private issue was raised to 10 lakh rupees from bigger amounts like 1,000 rupees now. While most people might ignore this as just yet another boring regulation, I got to tell you that this seemingly unknown announcement opens up a $2 trillion opportunity for people like you and me. And not so surprisingly, there is one such startup that was founded by 4 ordinary boys and has already tapped this untapped market so well that they are now selling bonds worth 5 crore rupees every single day. We are talking about Wind Wealth. Well, I could go on with this all day. However, what is important is that India is becoming a global unicorn hub. Here is why India is world's third largest startup ecosystem, and it is surely the fastest growing. These companies have grown exponentially, and not despite, but because of the pandemic. They have actually leveraged changing consumer behavior and quickly tweaked themselves to cater to the needs of the customers. India is surely the cynosure of the globe. Large, diverse markets, technology innovations, disruptive propositions, and extremely high quality talent are a few factors that are contributing to the startup growth story. The global investor community is keenly focused on the country, and its startups are quickly investing. A joint report by NASSCOM and Zinnov also forecasts India is on track to have 50 plus strong unicorn club in 2021. Well, if you actually look at the present statistics, 42 is the number for 2021. And they are actually looking at 100 unicorn clubs by 2025. So we're not too far. This is actually very achievable. In fact, today, the country has a large number of soonicorns, soon to be unicorns. We will not be surprised if India will overachieve the 100 unicorns by 2025. And this will unsurprisingly emerge from sectors that are not covered yet, such as agri-tech, health tech, clean tech, etc. The list is big. Previously, all of this has not happened or was happening actually privately. But now, because of a government regulation, this process could be opened up to the public, increasing both the safety and the scope of business. And this is how these startup owners are spotting a huge gap in the market. What are the lessons that are learned from this? Well, the first lesson is every time a new regulation or a mandate pops up in your market, keep an eye and keep your ears open, wide open actually, because it could be an indication towards a huge untapped market. In case of Asian Paints, it was the ban on foreign companies. In case of renewable energy, it was increase in the number of import duties. And in case of Wind Wealth, it was a regulation by SEBI itself. Now, the other lesson is that the game is risky, but at the same time, if you are able to command the trust of your audience and take a very big bet in reality by actually validating your processes, reducing your customer or acquisition costs by a large extent, and lastly, the crazy amount of content and transparency that you bring to the table, there is a word, unicorn, and this word has come a long way from just being a mythological creature to a regular feature in business and finance discussions. Today, unicorn companies have attained recognition and made a place for themselves in the market. The world currently is changing fast, and internet has made it smaller too. Evolution of technology has changed the way hard skills are used. Industries are now equipping themselves to make more money. And to do this, they are innovating ways to save as much as they can. Usually, if I hired somebody by targeting someone for a specific hard skill, which can now be replaced by technology or maybe artificial intelligence. To give you an example, a teller at a bank has been replaced by an ATM machine. A physical manual labor has been replaced by robots in a manufacturing facility. Technology is being developed and updated quite fast. And this means the access to technology is now smaller, it's easier, and it's cheaper. For businesses to access these technologies is beyond what a human can do. We have limitations and we must accept this fact. And this is not going to change This essentially means that a certain person specializing in a certain hard skill alone will sooner or later become obsolete. In order to stand out, you need to do two important things. You need to first specialize in a certain hard skill and make it your niche. Second, it is about to emphasize on your soft skills as well. What businesses are going to look at in professionals are how you can embrace new ways to do things. They are actually able to think critically. They can bring the entire team together and make it happen. This shift from hard to soft has been happening for a while now. If you're actually watching this video, I want you to know that our world is changing fast. And you need to be very proactive to improve your skills and to be market ready. Either to get employed in one of these unicorns or to be forced behind starting one yourself. Think about it.